Blooper, not footballer.
Hey, are we live?
Yeah, I thought I'd introduce a bit of a blooper and just go live while we were
Oh, bloody
talking.
hell.
Bloody-
I'm glad I didn't dig my nose or something.
Well, you might as well now that you said it, right? Anyway, okay, so that's a bit of a blooper. Let's take a break and we'll kick off.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the You and I Today show. Woo! Today we continue where we left off. Okay, maybe not with the banner flagging and everything, but yes, we continue where we left off from episode 2. Today is episode 3 of season 2. The theme is sports, and we will be talking about the English Premier League, specifically on game week 25. Of course, here with me to try and control this animated and avid bunch of football pundits is my co-host and co-founder Ryan Susiraj, all the way from Norway.
Hi, guys.
And of course,
Hello.
the stars of the show. We have 4 of them today. Let me just quickly introduce you or reintroduce you to them. We have Jeff Sandhu, head of Future X Talent at 42KL and a lifelong Liverpool fan. And Jeff doesn't seem to be in the show. Oh, there he is in his cave. Hi, Jeff.
Oh, nice, very subtle. Well, I decided to move in here. I'm not sure what you guys talking about. Like 22 men on a pitch kicking a ball. I don't understand this game.
Something about I don't know lah, Merseyside derby golf or something like that. But never mind lah, we will come back to you about that later. Okay? Okay. And then following from that, we have Vernon Chan, the co-founder and owner of VernonChan.com and a die-hard Chelsea fan. Vernon, say hi.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be back in episode 3 of season 2. Can't wait to talk about more of football today. And nice
Yes.
to see this bunch again, to be honest.
I think everybody hear you loud and clear with your dual
Awesome.
microphone.
Do you like my new mic setup?
Vernon, you
Should
might
we-
get some other type of proposals and different type of scoring by the end of the show, man.
Should
Vernon,
we
how
do
was-
like a commercial break with ASMR stuff on it?
Oh, by the way, Vernon,
I could kick a ball.
but how come your mic looks like it's on the side of your pop filter?
It is. I don't want it to be directly in my face, kind of thing. So, as
Okay.
long as it sounds clear and
Yeah,
Ladies
that
and
sounds clear,
gentlemen,
that's
if
fine.
you heard
Alright.
that interjection, that was from our next guest, Dominic Key, legal officer at Aeon, and he is animated is an understatement, Newcastle fan, multiple lifetimes over. His shoulders are so broad, he couldn't find a jersey to fit him today. That's why he's wearing a singlet. Say hi, Dominic.
Actually,
Actually, I just woke up.
I think if we adjust the contrast properly, that is the Newcastle jersey. The white, the black, the white, the black, and the white again.
So Dominic would be, as I'm not gonna spoil the surprise. You will see how animated he is during the show. And bringing up the rear, last but not least, we have Jeremy Lim. Now he is an Arsenal fanatic, but also a day job as a director at Envo BPO. Interestingly, for Jeremy, he took his first step to realizing his dream of becoming the board of directors of one of the members of board of directors of Arsenal Football Club, following the dismal run of form of 3 out of 11 wins for Arteta. So he may be there pretty soon. Jeremy, say hi.
Hey, everybody. Yo.
Yeah.
It's a nice
love
jersey you've got
I
on,
love
Jeremy.
his jersey. Yeah, I love his
Cheers,
jersey,
man.
man.
Thanks to Pharrell
That's
Williams.
so cool.
Yeah.
I
Welcome back,
suppose
boys.
with your,
So,
I suppose with
you
your
know the
current
drill.
form, you needed to diversify into fashion a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
You need side income.
Side
just
income,
like
yeah.
just hitting guard,
To
but
buy
that's a
new
different thing
players.
altogether.
Buy new players, maybe a new manager.
It's all point with new manager. Okay, but I
Ooh.
digress.
Yes.
Boys, we have 1 hour to talk about select matches in game week 25, specifically the matches that you guys support as a club. And then we'll take a little spin today. We'll talk about the coaches and how they are performing so far.
Mhm.
And all of this, not forgetting any of our live viewers out there who want to ask any of our pundits or panelists, any questions that you have throughout the duration of the show, log on to our YouTube website and go and comment on the live comment section. So we'll be looking throughout the comments and we'll be addressing them as we go out throughout the show. Okay, so without further ado, we shall jump right into the matches. We have 4 matches we'll be talking about today. The first one is Southampton versus Chelsea. That was a 1-1 draw. So of course, we'll be asking the questions and seeing that Vernon is a hardcore Chelsea fan. Don't just rush to answer any of these questions, okay?
I'm not rushing. I'm just enjoying my match.
Okay, let's go on. Since Tuchel took over as Chelsea boss, Chelsea has gone on a 4-game winning spree in the Premier League. Woohoo! Now against a faltering
Finally, we're
Southampton.
winning.
Finally, we're winning, right? Until this game.
Yeah.
Right? So going up against a Southampton team that has only won once in the last 5 games, was this a surprise result for you and for anyone for that matter?
Well, I mean, like we said before, the ball is round. Anything can happen. Obviously, it would have been nice to come up with 3 points, but being stalemate is better than a loss. And I think Chelsea just did enough, or maybe they didn't do enough to take away the 3 points. I think in the end, it was a little bit lucky as well with the penalty to get us on level terms. But otherwise, overall, it could have been better. Yeah, definitely could have been better.
Interesting that you say that Chelsea didn't do enough. When they recorded the lion's share of possession, they had about over 70% of possession. But I think they only managed about 4 shots on target. Do you think this had anything to do with the end result, seeing that they also, on average, Chelsea as a team, could only muster about 60% of passing accuracy in the final third of its games?
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. But playing a game, I think possession is also key. But that's what you find with Chelsea over the many games. I mean, they have high possession, passing the ball around, but the things that really matter is in the final third, where you either commit mistakes or you're indecisive, and that is what matters, and that is what creates goals. But if you look at Chelsea's record, even with Tuchel coming in, we lack the scoring prowess that is expected, and we haven't scored more than two goals in a game. So it's pretty similar with what happened at Southampton as well.
Yeah, Tuchel is not particularly a very animated or flair-based coach. He's more of a defensive-minded coach, and it shows in its games. He's played 8, 9 games, and you've only scored 7 or 8 games in total.
Exactly.
Go ahead,
Sorry.
go ahead.
I think it takes time to really sort of implement a style when you are on the final third of the pitch, because I'm not a professional footballer, but from what I've understand by reading all the books from different managers and stuff, right, the defensive part you trade almost every single day. You defend as a unit, and how you compact yourself, when you press, when you push. But once the ball gets up to the final third, is generally just play to your freedom and express yourself. So I feel with Tuchel coming in is just trying to, get that momentum, because I feel compared to Lampard, I feel Tuchel knows what's his best, at least the midfield. Compared to
I
Lampard
agree.
was
Yeah.
kind of moving around
Yeah,
and
for
all,
sure.
right? So I think it's just time. In hindsight, if you look at the result over the weekend against Atletico, it's like,
Oh yeah.
that's like, that's a good result. So, like Vernon said, right, as long as you don't lose, especially this season, any point is a valuable point, man.
Yeah, I think I completely kind of, you said it. It's like you're reading my mind, Jeff. Like for me, it's like Tuchel's doing what Mourinho did, not the same style, but the philosophy when he first started, when he joked about. I think I mentioned this before the previous show, but I don't know how you build houses in England, but in Portugal we start with the foundation, right? And I think
That's a very
his
good
whole
point.
thing,
Yeah. That's a
I
very
think
good
he's starting by let's not lose, and if at any, and I think he knows how to win. But I think Southampton's a tricky team, right? Until about maybe 5-6 seasons ago, they used to be United's bogey team. Like we'd go there and
Yeah.
we'd suffer every single time,
Yeah.
and it might just have been something kicked in and realized we couldn't win this, and he just closed shop, right?
Yeah.
And I think he's doing all the right things. I think that's a reflection why there's experience back in the team versus experimentation with youth. He's going for the surefire, sure bet. Let's just get some points and build on from there. And I think that's very smart. And last point, I actually kind of disagree with you a little bit, Kalman. I don't think he's a defensive-minded coach because of where he came from, right? With PSG, with
PSG,
Neymar, Mbappe, you can't be that way. But I think he is being very, very cautious at the moment.
And Dortmund as well. Dortmund,
And Dortmund
Yeah,
as well.
never
Dortmund
play
as well,
defensive football.
Maybe
They
that's
don't
the
like
word
it.
you not minded per se, but cautious. But you see the way he going on that, right? It's funny because a cautious coach, right? He wouldn't do something as brash. Well, maybe not so early in his managerial career at a new club. Did you see what happened when against the game when he brought on at halftime Hudson-Odoi?
Yeah.
And then after like 30 minutes, he brought him off. So he substituted a substitute. Like to me, that's unheard of, even for Mourinho standards, right? I mean, can you imagine if Mourinho did that? The press would be all over him. Tuchel did not get a single. It's to me.
I have
It's
a lot of
it's
respect for
something-
that, though. Yeah.
It's
Well-
laying down the marker, man. I think
Yeah,
he even
exactly.
said it, right? If you don't perform, then
Yes.
it doesn't matter
And
who
then
you
you're
are.
off.
Right? You're off,
exactly.
yeah. Laying
Exactly.
down the
But-
marker.
You see, regardless of all these, if you look at the stats, all the managers who first start for Chelsea or who of the first season, they'll most likely do well, and thereafter you know what's the history, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm not surprised he will do well. Tuchel will do
There's
well.
always this initial thing, right? Players want to prove themselves.
Yep.
Manager wants to prove
Absolutely.
himself. Well, there's no fans in this case, but
And you know what's the
But-
funny part? Liverpool players scored against Chelsea.
I mean,
Minamino.
Takumi.
The guy with the cute
Minamino
name.
realized. Yeah, I mean, Minamino realized that the only way to play for Liverpool is to play for Southampton first.
oh, hang on a second, Jeff. I actually thought it was. He just felt that it was about time that someone from Liverpool scored. It's been a while. so-
Ouch.
Wow.
Ouch.
This cave will soon be occupied by a lot of United fans. So,
But it's
I'm
been an
just making
interesting
space.
season, I'm sure.
yeah.
It's been an interesting season.
oh yeah.
But I mean, back to that about Hudson-Odoi being replaced and stuff. I think Tuchel is setting a precedent to what's to come, right? It's about performance, and at this level, you're playing top flight football. You cannot go in at 90%, and I think his comment was that if you don't give me 100%, you're gonna get out. You're gonna be replaced. And even though this is quite rare in what we see, even in the EPL or in football in general, I think it's a good move to kind of show the players that he means business, and it's early in his career as well in his stint. So
Interestingly, Vernon, you were talking about manager style on Tuchel. We have a question from Kenny Lim. Why is the team player better under? Why is the team play? Chelsea team playing better under Tuchel, but not Lampard? New manager bounce?
I
But we have
think
same
I have three theories about this. Number one, I think in the locker room there is a lot more communication. I think what we've heard about Lampard in the ending days was that he wasn't talking to certain players. It was very cliquey, and you can tell from the pitch and how they interact on the pitch. And that's something I love watching Chelsea at present moment, is how Tuchel and the interaction and camaraderie between Tuchel and the players. It's pretty amazing to watch, especially after the games. I think that's something that's positive that came out.
That's
the
true.
fact that-
It kind of reminds me of how Klopp actually invades the pitch and always like so enthusiastically go and high five and hug his players. It just reminds me of that. Like,
Yeah,
Hey,
absolutely.
Tuchel was his
absolutely.
understudy, so you
Yeah.
know. Klopp picked Tuchel to replace him in Dortmund, so
Yeah. And then another thing is, I think Tuchel kind of knows, at least he shows that he knows what to do with the formation and the players. I mean, Chelsea has always had a very good second team, right? Even under Lampard, they had a second team, but Lampard kind of was still feeling his way around, and they were not, delivering results that were expected. But Tuchel seems to have, pinpointed what he wanted to do, and he's not afraid to change formation. Like
you're right.
mid-game,
He's not.
element-
He's changed it up.
Mid-game,
He's changed it up.
3-4-3, 3-5-2, and he just goes bang. It's not working. Let's change it. Let's change it up. I'll change you because you're not performing, and
Do you
we
guys
get that
think
kind of
that
stuff.
this has something to do with injection of experience into the team? Because the guys like Azpilicueta and Alonso, they've been the bench warmers since playing for Lampard, right? But now they've been Tuchel has breathed new life to them. Has this something to do with experience and winning games as a team?
Yeah, I agree. I remember, Kevin, we were kind of slagging off SP because, we said he was slow, he was over the hill kind of thing. But look at how he has performed under Tuchel. He is basically the leader and the one that holds things together in defense and pulling the team together. And he has performed every single game since Tuchel came
I
in.
think you're absolutely right. Although I would say Azpilicueta is still slow. Alonso is still slow. But you see the way that Tuchel has put the formation, right? He's put two wing backs on top of the three defenders. So even if you're slow, people like Hudson-Odoi, people like Reece James, people like Ben Chilwell, they are able to actually cover the defensive duties, right?
Yeah.
So it looks like the formation is working, although I think it's still early days. But I think both you and Jeff are absolutely spot on to say that.
And also remember, Kevin, we were a little bit cautious and concerned about the 3-4-3 formation.
That's
Having
right.
three at the back, but it seems to be working. And like you said, because there's a support from the wing backs. Of course, the wing backs would have to do a lot more work, as you've seen with Alonso and Chilwell and also Hudson-Odoi was, in the recent games.
Okay,
There's
that
also,
means
I think
that means in a nutshell, over the last 18 minutes we've been discussing, I think we can just wrap it up by saying that Chelsea will finish top 4 lah. Let's stay that way, man. I mean, not so long-winded 18 minutes talking about win backs and football. Is it a
Sorry,
Chelsea
dude.
show? What's going on, bro? Like,
But the surprise is West Ham, man. Seriously.
We have one
We
more.
have an echo coming from you. Oh, sorry. I think it's the cave. Sorry. Yeah.
it's okay.
We've just one comment, and then we've got actually another question from a guest. But I think I saw this recently. I think this makes a lot of sense. It's also Lampard had stuff to prove, and Tuchel doesn't. The
you
senior
think so?
players have.
I think
I think it's something to
think
prove,
so?
but I think it's something to prove. But I think he's got also. I kind of compare this with even people in like careers, right? When you know you're good at what you do, you can come in and you can pretty much. It's quite liberating at first. You can just do what you want, at least for the beginning stages, right? Lampard was not a new manager for Chelsea; he was a new manager, right? And he's a Chelsea
Inexperience,
kind of idol.
yeah,
Right? There's
shows.
a lot of pressure on that, and I think the senior guys that he's using also make sense. These guys have won stuff, right?
Yeah.
The other guys haven't, so it's kind of you're depending on them saying like just throw caution to the wind and do what you do best. But enough from me. We've got one more comment, one question.
Okay,
Adrian
we
Chin.
have one more question for this game, then we will proceed to the next.
Yeah.
From Adrian Chin. At the moment, Tuchel is depending on Alonso at the left wing back. What happens if he stops performing or start leaking goals? Ha ha ha.
It's very simple. If you stop performing, you're out. isn't
That
it?
seems to be how Tuchel is approaching his formations.
I mean, Chelsea has
Bernard.
enough players to rotate. So if Alonso
And I
is
think
not, if he's not
yeah,
performing, then he's going to be out. Simple
I
as
think
that.
we've talked about this, right? He's favored the 3-4-3 formation, and he's put experience in the back three as well. We've got the likes of Rudiger there right now to marshal the back three.
Yep.
And if Alonso is slacking, he can always depend on the wing backs in front of him, right?
Yep.
To
Chilwell,
cover.
whatever,
Yeah, exactly. So even if he starts leaking goals per se, and I don't think that has been the results in the past 7-8 games.
No, it's been pretty
You're
rock
absolutely
solid
right.
at the back. Yeah.
Yeah, but if they do start leaking, I'm pretty sure Tuchel is not going to be afraid to change the formation up again. So, absolutely right, Vernon. Spot on. Thank you so much, Adrian. Okay, like Jeff said, now 19 minutes on Chelsea. We shall proceed
Are we
to the
going to the
next.
bat cave now?
We are going to the bat cave now.
Make sure you get your vaccinations before you come into this cave, yeah?
Don't worry,
Arguably,
Batman will be
the
here.
game of the week, we had Liverpool and Everton in the Merseyside derby. Now, this derby has recorded more draws in any other derby in the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken. 24, was it 23 draws? And I was expecting like a dour game for this because both teams were approaching it very cautiously based on the lineup. Liverpool was not on a very strong run. They were coming to this derby 3 straight losses in the Premier League. With Everton also winless in their last 3. So the fact that Everton actually pulled out a 2-0 win, was this an expected outcome, Jeff?
Yes and no. So one is, I think Liverpool had a lot of question marks for their performance at Anfield. I think away from home, we seem to be okay. Just a few days ago, we did play the Champions League game away. So we got the victory, which was good. Performance was okay. So coming back to Anfield, with the derby, a lot of us was like, could this be the spring to maybe kick on and try to get a form back and up and running again. And then when the lineup came up, it was quite surprising, like you said, because Dominic Calvert-Lewin was on the bench, so
Yep.
we thought okay, maybe Everton is also a little bit cautious about this. But as soon as again, it took, the last time Everton won at Anfield was 1999.
Yes.
The last time Everton won against Liverpool anywhere was in 2010. So in hindsight, it took a pandemic. It took 21 over years. It took no fans in the stadium at all. It took nearly six first starting 11 Liverpool players out of the team, and then Jordan Henderson as the captain out within just a few minutes as well, and then only they could take a victory. So I mean, okay lah, get the victory, celebrate it. That's cool. Yeah. But jokes aside, I think Liverpool just really struggled to find any sort of fluidity. Confidence is so down, and having said that, I think real condolences to Alisson Becker. His dad just passed away a few hours ago. I mean, the team is in. I can't imagine what they are going through morale wise. We know about Jurgen Klopp's mum passing away a couple of weeks ago. And there, I'm sure there are a lot more stories that we may not know. And this kind of stories is just coming up because it's a big story. Someone passed away, but there could be other things personally within the family and stuff. And we all know how Liverpool. I think all can agree here, among all the teams, Liverpool are probably the most close-knit bunch of people compared to any other team because of Jurgen Klopp. So, maybe there was already signs about something's not right within the group in December when things were not going really well. And then we found out that his mom passed away. So maybe mentally, even though he came out and say I can switch on and off at any point in time, it's not easy lah, right? It's difficult. So not making excuses, but I think there's no need to really kind of criticize the manager. I've seen a lot of people like questioning, oh, maybe Klopp
Crazy.
needs to go and stuff. I mean, yeah, that's crazy, right? Like, come on, man, this
Arsenal.
guy won us the Premier League after 30 years, won us the Champions
Yeah.
League after like 2 years, and then a year before that, like before winning Champions, he got into a final as well. Like, he's done wonders. He
this-
deserves this dip. It's fine, even if we don't
Yeah.
get Champions League this season. It is fine. It is just a weird season. Let's kick on from then. Get in a couple of players. We have so many injuries this year. Let's get Van Dijk back, Gomez back, Diogo Jota back, Henderson back. It has so many players, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
only then you will probably see the other players on the field right now who are, again, people criticizing, oh, Thiago's slowing Liverpool down and all. Like, come on, like, this is such a new environment for him. He's not playing in the best of midfield. He's not suited for the role as well. So next year is, I think, when Liverpool can maybe kick on, get a defender, because we know now that any injury is going to hurt us. I'm not sure about Ozan Kabak. I'm not sure about Ben Davis. These are kind of short-term temporary fix, and kudos to Michael Edwards. He deserves a statue for basically bringing in all these players in the way he has done it. But we need some reinforcement. We don't need a rebuilding. The team is good. It's just a couple of players, and then just some morale boost, right? So. We'll be fine. It's just this season. Let's just take it as it is. Enjoy the game. The ball is round. Anything can happen. So.
You mentioned a lot of injuries, and credit to Klopp. He's actually put in a really good makeshift team to actually be where he is right now. It's credit to the manager and the players as well. But one thing I want to point out, right? Liverpool came into this game basically with the top three. Now, when you look at the top three, right, you have Salah, Mane, and Firmino. This top three, you will strike fear in the heart of any team, not just in the Premier League, right? In Europe as well.
Yeah.
What's different? What's changed from last season?
To be honest with you, like, I think Jamie Carragher did like this Sky interview on the Monday Night Football. The amount of minutes these three people are playing, they've been together for the last 4 seasons, man. No other team that has attacking forwards longer than 2 seasons in a row. Like Liverpool, 4 years is the same trio. As sooner or later, people are going to find out, right? Like, Salah will run, down the wing. We even have a song about it, so it's not rocket science, right? So Salah's going to run down the wing, and then he's going to cut to his left foot. He's going to curl it to the top corner. So it took you 4 years to figure out that's what he's going to do. I mean, so at the end of the day, it's just we need some fresh blood to push them. Diogo Jota was that person. He did really well when he came in. And then boom, got injured. So it's just rotten luck.
I think it's also a little bit of, this is hard to say coming from a United fan, right? But football first. I think everything Jeff said is bang on, right? I honestly believe, very controversial, I may lose friends with this next comment, but I think Liverpool fans are the best in the world, honestly. And you see it from what Jeff is saying, right? If you've been to the stadium, you get it. It's just without it's and knowing, I supported the club for God, half my life before they won something, right? But long story short, there's this whole thing, right? Like, class is permanent, form temporary. Like, Klopp, not only did he win the league, like, he blew everyone away, man.
He did.
The way they played, you couldn't touch them last season, right? They just demolished everyone.
They were
You
so
don't lose
fluid. Yeah,
and even
So fluid
anyone who
football.
had Salah in fantasy for the first 15 so games, I didn't, so I know the pain. He was freaking scoring for fun, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's a combination of things. I think it is. I've always thought football among the top teams, like everyone, all the teams we're talking about here, is 90% in the head. I think skill is a little bit. I think it's your mentality. That's the difference, right? And when, you got a bereavement, you get this, you're demotivated. Usually, I think you can turn it around and go, well, let's play for Klopp, let's play for this. But then you try and do that, and half your team are gone. And you've got no one to play with, right? So you're being chopped. You're literally being decapitated everywhere. You're losing a limb everywhere you turn. I think there's still something to see in Liverpool this season. This is the one-liner I promised you, Jeff. You're in a cave, but leading up to Easter, something's good happened from a cave towards close to Easter, right? So you never know. I prepared that one for you overnight, man.
Does that mean that Liverpool is going to get relegated
There is
first and
something-
then rise from the dead again? Was that
Something.
your...
No, there's going to be a
Not
comeback. I
gonna
don't think
be
they,
relegated. Like, come on.
Come on, no
we'll
way.
leave that to some other teams, right?
Oh my
No, but I think
To me,
I
feel
actually
that
don't think anything
Anfield-
needs to be done to Liverpool. I think they just need to reset and they'll be flying again.
No,
Jeremy,
I
you
do
saying?
feel it's because of the fans. Because of the fans, you see, Everton beating Liverpool away at Anfield. It would never happen the past few years because of the crowd. There isn't a crowd there.
Yeah.
So if we all the fans there, at worst would be just a 1-1. I mean, that's my opinion.
Yeah. So I think that's true, right? Because again, I think among all the stadiums in the world, Anfield, especially a Merseyside derby, is the loudest. Like, it's crazy, right? So yeah, the fans, not there. But every team has this problem. So it's not a valid kind of thing, right? Because of the fans. It's just a culmination of so many different things.
Jeff, very interesting points. We will wrap up this match fixture with a question from William Young. So, should Liverpool replace Firmino? Because it seems Liverpool seems to play better without the false number 9 striker. That's a loaded question, man.
Look, I am the biggest fan of Bobby Firmino. I love him to death. I think he's such a magnificent footballer, totally underrated. Yeah, of course, he doesn't score enough goals. He's not your flashy kind of player, but he's so hardworking. He's like a better version of Dirk Kuyt. We used to have this workhorse before. But now he's got this Brazilian flair. If Dirk Kuyt was Brazilian, you would get Bobby Firmino, right? He puts in the effort and the time. I wouldn't replace him. I would give him a rest. Give him some time off. Send him over to Barbados and chill out, relax by the beach. Have a few sangrias. Go and do something with your teeth again, try to make it whiter and stuff like that, and then come back and he will be on fire again. But there was one person I remember hearing, I think it was one of the podcasts, was saying it's like Bobby Firmino, we will never see him at his peak because his peak is past already. I get that, but it's just the attachment. I think he still has a role to play, but we need to start looking for someone who can replace not just him, but all three. At least challenge them. Jota could be that person.
Here's a question, or rather a thought. How about you loan Firmino out to Newcastle, getting winning games at Newcastle, bringing up his skills and bring him back again where he's, top form?
We'll probably loan him out to Southampton, bro. It's our feeder club, So
Feeder club.
Bring in Newcastle because that's the next game in the match week 25 we'll be talking about. This one, interestingly, against Manchester United at home. Manchester 3, Newcastle 1. Let's bring in the ever-animated Dominic. Dominic, so what are your thoughts on this, man?
There's really no thoughts on this. It's a severely depleted team. Morale is down. Coach still has no idea how to coach football. So winning was never in the cards, right? There was a faint glimmer of hope of a draw and early equalizer, but that quickly went away. I'm happy it wasn't more than 3-1. So I guess we got that. But I think his track record has shown that he clearly doesn't know what he's doing. I mean, there's no point going in all the details, but he plays the wrong play, the wrong positions. He plays absolutely the worst possible formations. I mean, I mean, there's not much else to say, nothing much more than you guys have already seen.
There was a point in time in the game where Saint Maximin, mind you, he had almost half the shots on target for Newcastle that day. And
Saint Maximin has a revival because once was it Graham Jones? Because when he came in, the formations start switching to a more playable formation for a team like Newcastle, particularly 4-5-1 with
Right.
Wilson up front. And I think people like Maximin actually enjoys that kind of game. And then even with Arsenal's Willock in the team, we've got a pretty fast team. We got actually a solid looking team. But I don't know. But like I said, now it's sidelined once again. There was some mini revival going on. We're sidelined once again. So it's pretty much doom and gloom, because if you most of the actual, not some fake shit, right? Actual Newcastle groups, when they're talking about this, the only question everyone's talking about is, do you think we're going down or not? So that's the only question going on. Like I said, every other team is worrying, like, are they going to finish high enough? For every other team, it's a matter of pride, right? For Newcastle, I actually believe that we're going down, because it's the curse of the Steve, right? So it's in fact, the pattern. If you like statistics, then you like the fact that it's actually worse this year than before, right?
How much worse?
Easily at this point, I think the last figure they gave us was maybe like a 5-point difference, 5 points below.
Here's the thing, Dom. I mean, like, we all know that Steve Bruce is out of his wits. I mean, he doesn't know what he's doing, clearly. He may have
No,
the off chance.
Steve Bruce is a Geordie traitor. He's a Geordie fucking traitor, because he claims to be a Geordie, right? And he doesn't have the sensibility to fucking step down. Okay, he's causing his hometown club, okay, to literally go back. Okay, fucking Sunderland is going to be promoted to Championship, and we're going to fucking meet them in the Championship. Okay. As fun as that fucking sounds, right? I don't want to fucking go to Championship because we don't have a Rafa Benitez to save us again.
Okay.
So
I know
there's absolutely no logical analysis to it. Okay, we're losing our
Hold
game.
on, hold on. No, there is though, because you know for a fact that Steve Bruce is fudging up games, right? Clearly, he's fudging up games, and the off chance where he actually wins games, the opponent actually plays like shit, right? However, there has to be a reason why the fella is still at the club.
He's a yes man. That's what Dom said before, right? Like
What's actually
he
doing?
feeds.
What?
He's
How
feeding
can-
into what actually wants,
It's
right?
look, okay. I mean, I'll be very frank about this. It's getting tiring because everyone knows the question is a bit tiresome, because Ashley is just there. He's I mean, even his own intention of like not losing. I think what was that, £7 million? You know, if they say the Premiership, right, for sponsorship, £6 million.
Mhm.
So you would think that even that incentive is to let him stay in the Premier League, but he's not doing anything. I don't know why, right? I don't know. It's like Bruce is like some maybe some butt buddy or something like that. I don't know, right? But he's got, but whatever reason, he's just there. He's the worst performing Premiership manager in history. Okay, he's not serious. You want to have a good laugh after every Newcastle game? Just listen to his after-game comments. You know, he speaks to the press after every game. Just listen to his comments.
Yeah.
He has no idea what he's talking about. Okay, he's the sort of guy. It's like, because when I go online, I have when I play games online, right? You always have this shit teammate who goes like, every time you lose and it's his fault, and then he publicly announces, that's so unlucky. That's so unlucky. It's not fucking unlucky. It's your fucking fault. It's simple as that.
It's
Okay,
yeah.
he's the
It's
sort of
funny,
guy
right?
who goes on and
It
says
reminds
that,
me
right?
of seeing as the other half of the equation was United, right? You're absolutely right, Nodo, because like I remember that his after game comments are like David Moyes' comments at United when we were doing badly. The same crap over and over and over. I'm not saying they're the same level, right? But never looking.
For all your benefits, right? I'll give you an example of the things he says. One of the things which I hate the most, I sincerely hate the most, right? Every game we lose, okay, he says, it's good to build on this, okay? And then after saying this for like 15 or so games now, we have 13 games left before the end, and he still says to us, we've got something to build on, okay? And we've got a solid Fulham coming up behind us, right? We've got shit teams that are winning games, shit teams that are getting possession. We are getting nothing of that. We are actually a championship team right now. Okay? Nothing is worse. Nothing is worse. I mean, we could play badly. Okay, we could have a solid team. We got players that play badly, and then we are we are complaining about the players and all that, complaining about mistakes, but this is actually a championship team, okay? And when Graham came in, he changed up a bit, okay? It looked promising because he was actually playing the right players in the right position, okay? And I still can't get over playing Matt Ritchie as a left back. It makes absolute zero sense, okay? He was actually very close. He was almost a world class. He was like like 1 foot on the international stage, right? You play him as left back, he just fucked up his career. So we got a whole the Tyne side of Northeast, right? Really cursing him, and not a single person is in support of Bruce. Okay, and all that is for good reason. It's not emotional. It's all factual. There's nothing anyone could say. There's no logic that could support Bruce, right? So, like I said, I was even reluctant to come on here because I don't have anything conducive to promote. Nothing conducive.
Actually, let me ask you this question, Dom. I mean, if you take a look on paper, Newcastle, they have pretty good quality on paper as a team. Clearly Steve Bruce doesn't know how to bring out the best in them. I'm going to ask you this: what do you think with the current crop of players? Do you think they'll be able to stay up given the change in manager?
Look, even internally, even amongst our own ranks, there's also been people who are, I wouldn't say they're Steve Bruce supporters, but they're sympathizers, right? Okay, they're saying that stop complaining about the club, win, complain, lose, complain, shit comments. That those guys probably don't know what the fuck they're talking about, right? But anyways, the problem is, see, on paper, I've said it from the very fucking beginning, right? We've had a solid team. Okay, and yes, he did bring in some half decent play. When I say half decent, I'm not talking about that Ryan guy. Okay, the Ryan guy can suck my dick, right? Wilson is fine.
Callum Wilson. Yeah.
All right. So, but the thing is, on paper, we've actually got a solid team. Okay, but along the way, there's some stupid things like like losing 3 key players out for 8 weeks is that's actually, it's akin to suicide, right? Not renewing DeAndre Yedlin's contract, which is stupid. He was sitting on the bench for so long, and the games you bring in, he actually does something for the team. And then you don't renew his fucking contract. I don't understand what's wrong with you. No one gets it. Okay, you don't take half an effort to replace John Joe Shelby, the laziest fucking midfielder in the whole of APL. Okay, it's like Newcastle is so shit right now. Okay, and this is the same thing I've repeated every time I talk to the Toonami boys, right? It's like John Joe Shelby, I've got a hate-love relationship with John Joe Shelby. It's like, without him, I don't see us do anything. But with him, we are still not doing anything. But then, but I'd rather have him around, because we have no one else. We don't have a midfield general. And if you've watched Newcastle games, right, I've seen games where he's so fucking selfish. Yeah. He holds the ball.
Shelby?
He's trying to score from 35 yards. He doesn't pass 3 people. He does this all the time. John Joe is useless. He's lazy. He's useless. He's selfish. I mean, he's got a flash of brilliance, but I don't want a guy who scores like 1 goal every 50 tries. That's not really helpful.
Dominic, is this something that maybe? Wow, I don't know. Same question. Same guy asking the LA question. William Young. Maybe Ryan can step in on this as well because it's against United. Who you want in your team? Bruno, Kevin De Bruyne, or Salah? Maybe
I think this is a question. I think this is a question. I think this question is
or for Manchester United. I don't even know.
For Newcastle.
This question's for Dom.
I don't really want to answer that because it doesn't matter who. Because like you said, you're naming some top players, or you're putting in.
No, hang on. Maybe William means as manager to replace Steve Bruce.
Oh, then I could take anyone. Seriously.
Hey, you would take a potato over Steve Bruce.
No, I mean, it was just a few days ago. I voted my left testicle to replace Steve Bruce. So I don't know why they didn't take it up, but I think it could have done a bit better. I think it would have done a little bit better.
Can we tag Steve Bruce?
Sorry?
But
can we tag him to this show or hashtag Steve Bruce?
No, do you know
I think you did a bounce. A lot of people are already trying to.
A lot of people are giving a lot of shit to Steve Bruce, right? I particularly, personally, I won't speak for everyone, of course. I personally get triggered when people defend Steve Bruce because It just tells me how little they know about the situation, or maybe there's some in some I don't know, in some ivory tower somewhere, right? But yeah, but the situation is really 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 bad. Okay, and you know what makes it worse of late? You know what makes it really really pissing off? Okay, the so-called top teams are not beating the shit teams. So it's like the shit teams are climbing higher and higher above Newcastle. It's like I needed the top teams to actually beat the lower teams, but they're not even doing that. So it's getting worse. But while all the top teams are just getting their, maybe getting the egos a bit bruised, right? Newcastle is actually fucking going down, and I'm getting and I'm for the question they're asking us, like, do you think we're going up, staying up, or going down? Right? I'm actually in the camp of down, because statistically, historically looks at that. Plus, like I said, I've got more experience than all of you being relegated. So yeah.
So Dom, question for you: who would be your ideal replacement, like in the short term? To don't say anyone, but I mean
okay, look.
Ideally, who do you want?
Yeah, ideally, who you want? Realistically,
buddy. I respect the question. Seems like a generic question that you ask in this kind of show, right?
Yeah.
I totally respect the kind of question, but to be honest, I can't answer it, because you see, let me put it this way: Graham Jones comes in. Okay, it seems like he puts on, he brings something different to the table. I mean, seriously, you're in a Newcastle team and you play a 5-4-1, right? It doesn't make any sense, right? Graham Jones comes in, something's different. He packs the midfield. He actually supplies Wilson in the front with fast players, exactly how they're supposed to play. And then Newcastle looks better, right? And then when people start praising Graham Jones after one game, and then of course there's some news about how he puts Graham Jones on the side because maybe he feels bad, but I don't know how true it is, but if it was, it'd be pretty funny, right? So honestly, anyone would actually do us good. And considering that Ashley won't get anyone, if you want someone whom I think it might be affordable, right, and yet might do some good, I really want Houghton back. Okay, Houghton was grassroots. Okay, for the first relegation, Houghton was grassroots. He was a people person. He did exactly what manager is supposed to do, right? It's totally got his hands dirty and all that, right? So considering that Ashley doesn't want to pay for anyone worth it, I think Houghton might be more affordable. But of course, Houghton has been building a bit of a career now. He's getting on reasonably, not skyrocketing, but reasonably. So yeah, in the worst possible times, I would like to see Houghton. If anyone else, I would like to. If I don't know the particular manager, but any grassroots manager would be nice.
Well, and Dom, I don't know whether things can be looking up for Newcastle, but I will say this: in the next 6 to 7 games, you've got the bottom half teams that Newcastle will be playing. You've got West Brom, you've got Burnley, you've got Brighton, and all the likes. So I think if Newcastle's going to pick up points, it's going to be against these teams.
No, you see, we've been losing points against these teams, right? Look, let me just tell you this, and this might be the last time you'll hear from me in this show. If Newcastle don't beat Wolverhampton, we'll be relegated. It's a statistical fact. I mean, my statistics are my own, my own amateurish calculations. If we don't beat Wolverhampton, we're going down. So yeah, and like I said, I mean, I'm the guy who shouts out, wears a Newcastle jersey in the championship and then starts celebrating the championship victories, right? When everyone thinks like when no one even remembers who Newcastle is, right? So yeah, so I'll still look for the jersey. I'll still buy the current jerseys and all that shit, right? But I think we're going to be relegated. The curse of Steve is real, right? And
I think I think just to wrap this, and then because I just realized we haven't spoken about Arsenal for Jeremy.
Yep.
But I think, Dom, my honest opinion, I think Newcastle will be relegated, and I think that's going to be the best thing that's happened to you in a long time. Because I think that, I don't think the club deserves it. I think it is something dramatic. Something needs to force one of their hands, and staying in the Premiership is going to do the complete opposite.
But just let you know, I mean, I get what you're saying, Ryan, but you see, it's not going to be good for Newcastle, because you see, here's the problem, right? Ultimately, if Newcastle doesn't have a value, right, Ashley won't sell, okay, or he can't sell. who's going to buy Newcastle, right? At least you buy a not so well performing but Premiership team. You can try to turn around with your money. But Newcastle goes down, and considering that we're already as weak as we are, people for the third time, when you're relegated for the third time, that's when people will start leaving. I mean, if you have ever, well, of course, it's a rhetorical question. If you've ever, been relegated, the greatest fear is losing your players, right? But
Yeah,
twice
of
we were
course,
relegated, we didn't actually lose our players. Our manager stayed with us. Benitez stayed with us despite not being
That's
able
right.
to save us
That's
from
right.
McLaren. So
remember that.
and our players all stayed on, right? I mean, we did what Juventus did, except that Juventus, they were relegated because of some some financial shit, right? But
But I
Newcastle,
think
Yeah.
But my point is more along. I think status quo isn't enough, right? Ashley's staying, Bruce is staying. It needs a breaking change, and staying in the Premier League isn't the breaking change. Therefore, the other thing, right? But I think it's one of those clubs that need to come back. They need to be in the Premier League. They're not no disrespect to other teams that have been in the league, right? It's not this is a long-standing thing. But to answer the question from William Young, for me as a United fan, I think it was right to give all the time to Newcastle, but no, I don't think they can win the title. I think City are too far. I think they're going. I don't think we'll even finish second. I think we are still in the fight for the top four. If you look at the points,
Yeah.
it's too hard. We are doing good in pockets. We're not going to. I think even to be top six at the end of the season is going to be a big thing for us, for United. I think the one thing that's been promising is that Ole, because he used to be the reserve team coach, he's bringing youth in, and I think maybe that might pay off over a couple of seasons. But when you look at how Liverpool are the first half of the season, when you look at City, we're miles away from that, completely miles away. So
Yep.
I think with that, Calvin, I think we should move to.
Yep. Thank you very much,
Arsenal then.
William. We wanted to answer that question 10 minutes ago, but like I promised you in the start of the show, we have the very animated Newcastle supporter in the form of Dominic Key. Okay, Dominic, with I think all of us wish the best for you see this here from Joshua, he loves Mr. Newcastle's angst.
motherfucker, if I wasn't so angry, I'd be quite amused by it.
Okay, let's move on to the last game we'll be discussing today. It is Arsenal versus Manchester City, and I think everyone was looking for a very delicious and tasty match in this setup, but the result was Arsenal 0, Manchester City 1. Now, I want to bring in Jeremy. Your thoughts on this? Since in month of January, Arteta was seen to have like a mini revival, registering 5 games, unbeaten run in the Premier League, and then not forgetting the 4-2 huge win against Leeds, right, the last time out. So you would think that it would give Manchester City a little bit of a run for its money against this clash. What happened?
Actually, for the very first time in a long time, I feel happy losing a game, So, I mean, if you look at the past few games in February, where we lost against Aston Villa and we lost against Wolverhampton as well, Aston especially. So it's a deja vu when Sterling scored the 3rd minute. So the moment the moment he scored is similar to how we considered a goal against Aston. Very early in the game, within the first few minutes, and there you go. So I even told my friend, I said, I don't know whether if I can watch the game anymore, because MC will most likely trash us 3-0, 4-0, like how they trash Liverpool. I mean, sorry to say that, yeah. So I mean, thankfully we did not get
Or
thrashed.
Chelsea.
Or Chelsea. So it was the other way around. After like 10 to 15 minutes, I think the player woke up out of nowhere, and you can see they played so well. I mean, they played so well in a way that they didn't win or even draw the game. But yet you can see there's a change. You can change in the team. And I think Zaka was in a way protecting Tierney when we all know that Mahrez is so with his tasty left foot or so and the right foot, he can make all sort of shots from around the box. So with these two players defending, I feel there's a change of tactics. And I read it somewhere that Cancelo, I think we all know Cancelo, he's even a wing back. He made 0 passes into the box the whole game. This is only the second time in this season. Second time. So that shows that there's a change of tactics after when we consider the goal. And also you can see a lot of our players, they man mark MC players. And even Gundogan, instead of him running so forward like how he did for the past few games, he became a defensive midfielder. So I see there's a good improvement, but also maybe partly because Arteta gave his protege a chance to shine against him. So I'm not so sure. There's two sides of the coin.
What you were talking about the change in formation, right? I mean, Arsenal came into this game favoring experience. I mean, Smith Rowe and Martinelli, they were like really, really bright stars, in during a period where Arsenal was not picking up points. But the way they approached the game, it was a very compact midfield. I mean, Steve Rowe and Martinelli, and then not forgetting Lacazette was also on the bench. So do you think that like the formation, the change of formation had anything to do with the result? Or was this something that Arsenal had in mind was, we're not going to win this game, it's damage control from the get-go?
I just feel that I'm actually equally surprised. Why did Odegaard start? He came in, as a second team player in Madrid, but immediately he became a starter in Arsenal. So I thought so. If let's say if Emily Smith Rowe were to start the game, things might better. And even Lacazette, he did not play, but I'm so surprised. The past few games he did okay, and he did not start this game. I just feel that the game would be fairer if we were to draw the game rather than losing the game. And
a draw?
Yeah,
was a fair result for in your books.
Yep, definitely, because we had some chances. We are missing someone like Oliver Giroud, a plan B, like how he scored yesterday, against Atletico. Someone like that of that caliber. So it's sad to say also to see Aubameyang, he's not performing as what he should be. He did well, scoring hat-trick before that, but after that, I'm not so sure yet to be seen. So against MC, I think all in all, it was an interesting game. I think for all of you, the neutrals.
Watching.
Do you like game? I think.
Well, honestly speaking, I thought after the third minute when Sterling scored, right, I thought the floodgates were going to be open, right?
Yeah,
I thought, you look at the players they had on the team. They had Gundogan, they had Foden, Silva. Look, those four midfields, right? Like they bagged 24 out of City's current goal tally. Almost 50% of the goals in the midfield.
Yeah. It's crazy.
You just look at them, right? Just going up against a team that has such a formidable midfield, it's daunting. So for an Arsenal team that I don't know is going through a rough patch, I think losing 1-0 to City in such a formidable form, I think it's expected, but also quite surprising, to be honest.
And KDB as well, he came back from his injury.
Oh yeah.
Right, exactly. So
I still have nightmares with the Chelsea match, with 3-4 of them there. It's like it's crazy.
Let's not talk about Chelsea being nightmare releasing all those really good players.
I know. But I mean, you have to admit when MC is on fire, they're on fire, and they have been on fire. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying let's not take away from the form of certain Arsenal players like Bukayo Saka. I think he has been really impressive as a youngster. I'm really afraid that eventually Real Madrid or even Barcelona might come and snap him up. So, and even I think Rob Holding played well. He was pretty calm and composed, as opposed to even Chelsea play like Willian. I'm so grateful that Willian didn't come in. Yeah.
We have a question here from Lawrence Tan for Jeremy. Jeremy, why did Arteta play Odegaard over ESR? What a costly mistake. Do you agree?
Totally agree. I just don't understand why. ESR, Emily Smith Rowe, he played so well the past few games, but yet Odegaard out of nowhere, and he was not that impressive the previous games. and against MC, against a top team. I don't know why is he playing Odegaard. I have no idea. I'm clueless. I wish I have his WhatsApp to WhatsApp him now. Yeah. No, wait till I become a board director of Arsenal. Then maybe I can get you the answer. Yeah.
Right. I mean, this is exactly what I was talking about, right? I mean, the youth lineup that you have on the bench has been really, really amazing and outstanding. Smith Rowe has been really making a lot of runs down the flank, and they've been giving opportunities, scoring with Martinelli on the other end as well. So I was quite surprised, right? When these guys were actually left on the bench. So yeah, when you get through Arteta through WhatsApp, let us know, man.
Sure. Maybe by then he's no longer our manager. Yeah.
Actually, is the point I was gonna say, right? I watched the game, right? It's funny because City weren't bad. They weren't at their best, but they weren't bad. Arsenal were also not fantastic, but they also weren't bad. So you kind of expected both teams to score more than they did, right? But I don't know whether they're both afraid because Arsenal didn't want to lose by too much and City wanted to keep winning. I don't know what it was. It was very odd. But weirdly, when I look around, right, and of course it's a different league from Dom and Bruce, I still don't think Arteta is anywhere cut out to be Arsenal manager. I think he's.
Yeah.
I
think you guys deserve something.
This exact same question, man.
Arteta
He's
can
keeping you
always
guys afloat, but you need
Someone else.
someone
Let's
else.
go.
Dom's found his new manager.
Would Newcastle take Arteta in?
I'll take anyone. We'll take anyone really.
Even my Ashley.
Hey Jeremy, I heard Steve Bruce might become available if you want him for Arsenal.
Oh my god.
No,
No way. Yeah.
But it's
Okay,
Dom's cat
I-
will do better than Steve Bruce as well.
who?
Say again.
Dom's cat will do better than
Yeah.
Steve Bruce.
Dom found his manager, new
What's his
manager.
name, Dom?
Her name is Shiva.
Bruce.
Is what?
Shiva.
Imagine if the cat's
Shiba.
name was Bruce.
Sheba.
Wow, what a
Shiba.
sexy
Say.
name. Yeah.
Nice name.
Shiba, nice name.
Sheba SB Steve Bruce. Hey, I can't do that, man. What's going on?
There's some Illuminati thing going on here. I tell you.
Yeah.
I mean,
Anyways, my cats are my support animals in this dark times.
I just
Hey,
want-
we've got
okay.
a question. We've got a question
Yeah,
there. Who do
we
you think
have a
can replace
question.
Arteta?
Adrian Chin,
Good-
who do you
good
think
question.
can replace Arteta? Jeremy.
And we have an answer from William Young. Hang on.
Frank Lampard.
Hey, William.
No, man.
No, too early for that.
Yeah, okay. Arteta, I think for now, okay. Managers who are available in the market. Tuchel is no longer
Scott.
available. Nah, Rafa Benitez is out. Is
Well,
Ancelotti available?
He's in
Ancelotti is Everton.
Everton.
Oh, sorry. Ancelotti is Everton.
He won't go.
No.
I'm
Doing
not
well.
so sure who's available now. So, I mean-
Honestly, I think is if Arsenal were to be a little bit brave in the market, they can go for Diego Simeone because I think Atletico will win the La Liga this year. And if they can price him, it's going to be expensive.
Yeah.
I think he is the most highly paid manager in the world.
Is he? Right.
Yeah, he is. He
Wow.
is. I think he's the most expensive manager at the moment. But I see him like your Arsene Wenger type of mold, though. You
Discipline,
bring
yeah.
him in 10 years and Arsenal with his style. Wow, like I can only see it going places because he's been in Atletico for so long and he's been there. They haven't really elevated themselves even further. So it's a lot of money. I don't know if Arsenal's board. Maybe Jeremy, if you're in the Arsenal board, you can probably throw in some spare cash lying in your car or what, right? So
I just,
maybe that could help them, lah.
I just had a look. Jeff, you're right. Diego Simeone is 40.5 million euros a year. Second
Wow.
is Conte, 30 million. Pep is
Conte.
next, and Klopp is next. So it's
Yeah, it's the most
Simeone,
expensive
Conte,
manager.
Guardiola, Klopp, and Mourinho. Yeah. Simeone
I think
is
for
making
now-
twice as much as Mourinho.
There isn't any freelance. You know what? The worst case
Allegri.
scenario, just bring back Arsene Wenger.
Oh,
Hey, Henri.
Worst case scenario.
Henri.
He's
You know what?
Better leave it.
This is a possibility as well. Look the way Tottenham is playing right now. Mourinho may not even stay there for the whole season, and then he becomes a free manager again. He goes to his derby, opponent like Arsenal, and then next season he wins the league. How crazy is that?
Yeah, I think Adrian has a point. Language barrier, like how Unai Emery had issues.
Unai Emery, just everything was good evening, so that was itself was a problem. I think with Simeone, he'll be a bit more brutal and rough. That guy's a gangster, man.
He's a gangster.
I wouldn't want to mess with Simeone. Whereas
Yep.
Unai Emery just kind of feels like a buddy that's taking his dog on the park, and then you pass by him, you go like, hey buddy, you go like good evening, and Unai Emery feels like that type of.
That's a good
manager.
one.
Yeah.
Simeone is like, you don't want to say hi to him if you're walking down the park.
Why
run
you say
back
hello
home,
to me?
Yeah, you're like, why are you saying hello to me? I know where you live. You wait,
Yeah.
what's going to happen tomorrow? You see, and you're like,
I
oh my
come to your
god.
cave and kill you.
Exactly, you'll be like, I need to go to the cave that Jeff's in at the moment. So yeah,
Well,
Yeah, but I
interestingly,
mean,
right,
we
I
just
think
keep
Jeremy.
Arteta for this season.
Yeah, I think Arsenal are a very attractive club for a manager, though. Right, a couple of things: the club, the stadium, the fans, the history. It's in London, which is a huge attractive thing right, for a foreign manager. Like a lot of
Good
because they
point.
come with their families and their children. I think in the moment people start becoming available, like Simeone, I never thought of that, man. It's a great kind of. But I think you'll be spoiled for choice if you're willing to break the bank for it, right? Be interesting.
Let's see.
Otherwise, give it a year, Mourinho might become available again. So
That's exactly what.
no way. I cannot see Mourinho from Spurs.
With Arsenal.
Oh my
Wow.
god.
Never say
just from
never,
Spurs,
He's
dude.
doing the rounds, right?
First, then
Yeah,
from
never say
Spurs,
never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Jeremy, I just want to wrap this up, right? Where do you think Arsenal is going to finish this season? Top half, bottom half?
If I'm being optimistic, top 5.
Wow.
Optimistic. We are 9 points away from number 5, and 13 more games to go. If we win all the 13 games, what to stop us? Nothing to stop us,
Yeah, the ball is round. The ball is round.
Yeah,
Very
but being
optimistic.
being pessimistic, then I think maybe number 10. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
right now is being
11.
occupied by Leeds,
Now
right?
by Leeds. Yes, that's right. Leeds.
So you all are 11th.
But just by
5
that
spots
math,
behind
right?
Arsenal.
If Newcastle win all the remaining games and no one else does, they win the league. So
I don't think so. You can.
But okay, top 4 though. I think we can go around the table to wrap it up, and then maybe bottom 3. So
Good idea, Jeff.
you
Why
go
don't you
first,
start?
Jeff. Go ahead, Jeff. Yeah.
No. I mean, the host goes first. Or
No, the
Dom-
host
Dom-
goes first.
Dom-
Ryan
Dom-
goes first. Ryan goes first.
Bottom 3, top 4.
Bottom 3.
Ryan, go for it.
Bottom 3. I think it'll be West Brom, Sheffield, Brighton, or Newcastle. Sadly, top 4. City to win. I think Liverpool will be second. I think then it's Leicester will be somewhere in the top 4. I think the form is good. Madison is still firing. Vardy still ish. And then the 4th, I have no idea. Could be anyone. I could even see, honestly, I can even see Everton being top 4 if they really keep going.
Not
Don't
West
know.
Ham.
It's quite, the 4th place is quite hard. Don't know. Lingard's basically proving a point, right? To all his ex-managers
Lingard.
and ex-players. That's all he's doing. Right? So I think
I
4th hard
agree
tough to
with you.
say. But
I agree with you, Ryan. I think the first 2, I think it's done and dusted. I mean, I'm just really very. Everybody's impressed by the way Manchester City is playing, right? But I'm truly impressed by the way Ole is actually managing the team. Look at him this time, a month and a half, 2 months ago. Nowhere near. They're literally. If City was not there, United would take the title this
we've
season.
also had no
I-
injuries, right? Everyone
word,
else has.
Bruno.
We've had no
That's one
injuries
word.
for a long time.
Bruno.
No.
You
Bruno
put Bruno in
Fernandes.
Newcastle, Arsenal, and we'll be in top 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say the first 2 Manchester clubs, 1 and 2. Third, I would think Leicester. Number 4, I don't think West Ham is in the mix. They've got a thin squad. They're pushing for a fourth place right now. But then you look at the likes of the teams around him. You have Chelsea, you have Liverpool, and then you have Everton. These guys are, given the quality of the squad, I don't think West Ham's going to be there for long. So I think fourth place would either between Liverpool and Chelsea. If Chelsea's in the 5th place, I'll just join Jeff in this case.
And bottom 3?
Right. Bottom 3 would be Sheffield. I think that's done and dusted. West Brom. Honestly, if I have to say this time and now, who the third one would be relegated, I would say Newcastle because they're on the down. Fulham is actually on the up. At one point in time, Fulham were 15 points. What is that? 12 points behind Newcastle, right? And that the gap is now 3 points. So my money is on Fulham to beat the drop.
Tom?
I think
Top 4,
Newcastle's
bottom
going
3?
down. I don't really know who the top 4 are, but Newcastle's going down. That's all I know, actually. No,
All that
I'll-
matters. All that
I want to put that
matters.
in a loop, man.
After this show, Dom may be a viral sensation. He'll be used as memes all over the place, man.
Yeah, man.
No, because even I randomly look at the Premier League table, and then it's all a blur, 1 to 16, and all I can see is Newcastle at 17. I can see the 3 points. I can see the equal games with Fulham. I can see that Fulham got 2 points because of draws in their last games. Yeah, that's all I see actually.
Vernon?
I've got to agree. The general consensus: Man City, the two Man City teams, on Man City, Man United on top. Third and fourth, I feel that Chelsea can probably go up to third or fourth.
Wow,
But
big call,
that'll be
man.
the highest that it can go. Third or fourth. Liverpool will be there, I think, in the top 4.
You think Leicester will be in the mix?
Leicester might be 4th or 5th, I think. Yeah, that's what
Especially
I
now that
expect.
Madison is injured, right? So
Yeah.
Bottom 3?
Bottom 3, I think Newcastle, West Brom, and Sheffield.
And Mr. Arsenal?
I feel that Liverpool will bounce back, definitely in the top 4. MU won't be at number 2, but Leicester. I still feel that Leicester, they have Harvey Barnes. I think they have a pretty
On form.
formidable squad on form.
wow, that's big call for me, man.
Yeah. And now West Ham maybe in the top 6. Yeah, in top
Bottom
6.
3?
And bottom 3, I still feel that Newcastle will nick it. They won't be relegated. Maybe the last day itself, they might be still in the 17. But maybe a huge shout. Brighton will be relegated. Brighton together with West Brom and Sheffield. Yeah.
No,
Jeff, what do you think?
Yes.
Yeah, Man City win the league. United will be second, I think. I think they're quite comfortable there. I think Chelsea will be third.
Yeah, thank you.
The bounce,
Fingers crossed,
and I like
fingers
Tuchel, and I think their run at games is okay. It's
Yeah.
not too bad. And
Except
then
that they
it's
play
a
United
tough.
this weekend.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
that's gonna be
you
a
know,
derby.
That's
That's gonna be awesome.
That's gonna be a good game to watch, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's a toss between Leicester, who now got injury crisis as well, and Liverpool. West Ham, I don't know, man. Like, it'll be surprising if you see them in the top 4. Can't imagine Jesse Lingard in the Champions League, and
Yeah,
that's just a strange sight. But I mean, I think Liverpool will probably barely make it, kind of thing. Like, the last game of the season, and maybe Leicester and West Ham will crumble. Bottom 3, I'm with Jeremy actually. Like, I think Newcastle will stay up, like barely, maybe on like some odd 1 point above, or maybe like a
Goal
some
difference.
I don't
Goal difference.
goal difference.
Yeah.
I mean, because at the moment you look at the goal difference, right? Newcastle's minus 17, Fulham's minus 11. But every now and then you see a 9-0 score that's being thrown up
That's
on the map,
crazy,
right?
man.
So at any point of time, Fulham's going to trash someone's going to trash Fulham 9-0. It's probably going to be City, and then they will be
Yeah.
minus 20 or something like that. So it could just be down to goal difference. But that's and then West Brom and Sheffield United, I think, probably go down. But having said that, I think Liverpool's playing Sheffield United this weekend. Yeah, Sheffield's gonna nick a draw here, man. Liverpool's gonna have that blip again. I don't know when this blip's gonna end.
One observation from everyone's top 4 and bottom 3. You realize who no one mentioned? How they've just faded away. Spurs just vanished.
Oh yeah,
Like,
that's true.
the 16 points.
What happened to Spurs?
Right.
What
Spurs.
happened to Spurs?
16 points off second place. Yeah.
You know the Jose Mourinho's teams. They always have the third year success, second year success, and then the third year failure.
Yep.
Only Spurs could decide to let's just avoid the success and go to failure. Completely skip Jose Mourinho's second season success.
We
right?
will,
They just
we will
it's
break
true.
this.
only Spurs could do that.
Yeah.
Spurs being Spurs.
All right, folks. I think that's all the time we have. We went slightly over. Just a last comment from Lawrence. Leave the Newcastle guy alone, man. He needs to call befrienders already.
Very good. Very good.
So on that note, thank you so much, guys. Jeff, Vernon, Dominic, and Jeremy, and of course my coach Ryan. And for all you guys who've been tuning in with us, we hope that you've been entertained by this 4 football pundits. And yes, don't forget, you've heard it here first on the predictions of the end of this 2021 EPL season right here on You and I Today. We'll catch you next time on the next episode. See you guys.
Take care, guys. Bye.
Stay safe.